do I need to do to live intentional for my life where I also don't lose my purpose?
Yeah.
To the Walking Life Journey podcast. Guess what? We are in series 4 and we are doing great things this season. So buckle up and let's prepare for the ride.
Let's
Those
go.
that are, let's go. That's what he said. Those that are joining us for the very first time, I am Nikita White.
I'm Keandra White.
I'm Lorenzo White.
And together we make the White family. Now, we have done season 1, season 2, season 3, and this is season 4. And again, we are super excited because we're kicking this season off with something so powerful, and it's a word series. It's a word series. And we are going to pick words throughout this year that we're going to unpack, that's going to motivate us, empower us, our mind, our body, our soul, and guess what else? We can't forget our heart. So that's what this season is going to be about. So are y'all ready for the first word?
Let's get it.
Yep, let's go.
Our first word that
Hey,
I'm sorry.
hey.
I'm
You're not
sorry.
letting them know where they can find us at.
You didn't.
Oh my God.
It's been that long.
It's been a long time. When we looked back at season 3, I think we had like 10 episodes. This season, y'all better be ready for the ride, because when I say accountability is where I'm standing in 2025, accountability is where it's at. Don't get thrown off. Don't get thrown off. And it's going to lead us right into our word for this week as well. But if you're new to this community, you can find us on all podcast platforms. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on...
You can find us on TikTok, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Is that everything?
Nah.
Where else can they find us?
Lowe's and Zoe's, Home Depot, and Carl's Jr. on the third Thursday of the month.
On the third
They ain't want me to
Thursday
be
of the
great,
month.
man. Y'all ain't
We
want me to say
you
it.
to be great.
It's all good.
We want you to be great, because when you're great, we're all great as the head of our household.
That's right.
That's it. That's it. So this week we are talking about the word that has been coming up, oh gosh, time and time and time in my household, time and time and time in my work. And the word is intentional.
All right.
Intentional. And so when I say that word, it's something about how it makes my body feel. When I say I'm being intentional, I'm already know that I'm doing something on purpose. I'm doing something because I already have my mind set on it. So I don't know about you, but if you're multitasking or doing something right now, I want you to reset, refocus, sit down.
Lock in.
Say it again.
Lock in.
Lock in, and let's be intentional together. So Keandra, you want to kick it off for us? What does intentional mean to you?
Intentional is really just doing things with a purpose. It's the why behind our actions, the why behind why we do things. It's doing things with a goal in mind, not just waking up and letting time pass by or going through the motions. It's really being intentional, doing things with a purpose and a goal in mind.
I love it.
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, it's definitely when you make a decision to do something.
You've made a decision to do something.
Yeah. Everything we do is decision based. How early we get up in the morning, how long we stay in bed, the moves that we make, everything is a decision. So even the smallest things can be intentional. But we're talking about being intentional with our growth, being intentional with our movement, so that we can be further and better than we were the previous day.
I love it. You two have wrapped up what intentional means to us.
That's what's up. So this is it?
No. Now we got to
we're
talk
done.
about, we know what it means to be intentional. Can you truthfully identify when you're no longer walking in intention in your life? What does your body feel like when you're not intentional? For me, when I think about days when, let's just start with the work day. when I get up in the morning, there's things that I have to check off to make me feel good. From morning motivation to working out to my word. And if I wake up too late and I miss one of those things, my energy doesn't even match to where I normally like to be. So when you're not being intentional, you find yourself reacting to things instead of being proactive, which means I'm late now. So now I have to get my stuff together. I got to get moving. I'm reacting to everything that comes my way, to the point that if the traffic light stays red too long, I'm reacting sometimes in a negative way. So
right.
I don't really like not walking in intention.
Yeah, it's somebody else's fault at that point.
Right. Even though it's my fault because I'm late. But now you find
Exactly.
yourself blaming everybody.
Yeah,
for
y'all
what
in
you
my
didn't
way. I'm
do.
trying to get to work. Y'all in my way.
I don't know. What happens? What when you're not being intentional, Keandra, what does that feel like to you?
It honestly just feels like you're running your life on autopilot. You do the regular motions of get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, and you just go to work. And already looking forward to being back in bed sometimes when I don't have things actually set out. And then next thing I know, a week went by. How I'd be saying, "Oh, March is almost over already."
Oh my
like
gosh.
just that whole. When I'm not intentional, I feel like time just passed by, and I look at my checklist like, "Dang, I ain't really get nothing done."
I like how you said
like
checklist. Sometimes you need that marker because you can feel like you're standing still.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all along, if you have something, whether it be an accountability partner or you just taking note of, okay, these are the things I want to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Let me check these things off. So when you sitting back looking at, okay, what did I do for this month?
Yeah.
You can actually have that, that piece be like, okay, I did do something.
Yeah.
Because life can go back real fast and we miss out on a whole lot of stuff, man. But
say that.
the feeling for me, don't feel as accomplished. Like Keandra said, you feel like you're on autopilot, not getting things done. I know you asked when we were talking about the topic and some things to discuss.
Yeah.
You said, what are some things that you've been intentional about? So
That's
a lot
a good
of
question.
yeah, for sure. So what are some things that you have been intentional about? I know for me, a lot of you guys, well, a lot of people know that, since we started talking about it more, a lot of us have been in this travel club for a minute.
Yep.
Um,
That's your number one job.
I have actually started moving with intention, through this travel club, actually locking in and understanding and feeling hyped up to talk about it now, so just being more intentional about that, because the more effort I put into it, intentional effort I put into it, the greater the outcome can be. So
I like that. The more intention we put on something in our life, the greater the outcome will be. When you have your checklist, the greater you can make sure you stay on your goals and you can feel accomplished.
Yeah.
That's what being intentional means to us. I like that. I like that. And when you don't feel intentional, we start blaming people and we feel like the months are moving so fast, and next thing you know, you haven't accomplished what you thought you were going to accomplish.
Groundhog Day.
Say that again.
Said Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, like you just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
I don't like that. I really don't like when my body is just moving through the motions, because to be honest with you, it has. I've been at that place where you're just going and doing the things that you normally do because autopilot. Yeah. This is what I got to do every day. This is how I move. But when you sit down and you think, it's funny. I just bought a shirt yesterday and it said, if I can't remember it, it didn't happen. And when I'm not being intentional, that's truthfully, it hasn't even really registered in my mind. And I'll sit down and they're like, do you remember this? And I'm like, I don't, because truthfully, I was on autopilot. There is things that I don't remember. Some things I don't remember because I just don't want to remember. And some things I truthfully need my family to come alongside me to say, you remember this. But when I'm moving with intention, oh gosh, not only does my mind register it better, my heart's in it, my soul feels good,
right?
My body feels good.
Well,
My journaling is on point. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Find what
You
you
feel
need
different.
to be intentional.
Yeah,
You
you
do
feel
feel
different.
it. You do feel it. When we're talking about being intentional, also in our relationships, like you can't be in a relationship and saying, I'm going to be intentional today. You have to say, I mean, truthfully, I'm going to use this analogy, but when we have business meetings, we come together as a team and we map out our strategic plan for the business. Every once in a while, you should be sitting in your relationship and having a strategic plan for your life, for your relationships.
Yeah.
What are your goals? Where are we trying to get to? What are we doing in 2025? So that way you know exactly how to move in intention. Because you don't want one person to be moving with intention going to the left and the other one moving with intention going to the right. Align yourselves. Be so intentional in your relationships that you are working towards the same goals. My husband always reminds me, same team. Same team. He could be saying something, I could be saying something. It sounds the same, and sometimes it takes this one in the middle to say, hey, y'all, get it together. Same team. Same team. And then we tell her, stay out of our grown folks' business.
Yeah, stay out of grown folks'
Stay out
business.
of grown folks' business. Yeah. Y'all got anything to add to that relationship piece?
No, I just like how you were saying sometimes you have to come back and realign to make sure you're growing together and being intentional together, because it's so easy to just like start straying away and then you start not aligning no more. So really coming together and focusing on what our goals together.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
Relationship wise as well. It spans, not just the relationship with your partner. It spans friendships. Being intentional. A lot of times, again, time not messing around with none of us.
Time
No,
is
for
not
sure.
When you about to
waiting for
hit
none
April,
of us.
when's the last time you reached out to one of your best friends or somebody that you cared about and be like, yo, just think about you? You have to be intentional with those movements because, again, life gets past us. We
It
get caught up
does.
in the day to day. And next thing you know, man, I ain't heard from such and such. And when you
Been
say
years.
in, yeah, that's when it comes up.
Yeah.
Years, you start
You're like,
reflecting back
dang.
like, dang, I ain't heard from him about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not just in your home and things like that,
Yeah.
but touch bases with those people that you cared about, man, because when they gone, they gone.
Absolutely.
You know.
When they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, definitely in friendships too. I feel like I reached a point in my life where you're not in school, so you're not constantly seeing each other.
Mm.
And I've met people and we're like, oh, we should hang out. We should hang out. We should hang out.
Mm.
And I look back at those messages.
You
I'm
don't
like,
get to hang out.
we've been saying that for like a year and a half, 2 years.
and you
So-
haven't scheduled it.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
now when I'm talking to my friends and things, I'm like, no, pick a date right now. When are we hanging out? Where are we
Yes.
doing? Like, we have
You
to
have
plan
to.
it right then and there.
You have
together.
to. You really, really have to. I love how you talk about that because we can say we're going to do things, and if it's not, I always say, if it's not on my calendar, it does not exist.
Right.
Yeah.
And I found myself laughing one day because with children growing up, right? We didn't have, when you were little, we didn't do like, oh, we're going to schedule a play date. Now y'all scheduling play dates, but now I find myself that the friends that I need to and want to stay connected to, I'm like, hey, okay, it could be 2 months out.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and put lunch on the calendar.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and put dinner on the
Intentional.
calendar
Intentional.
because that is something intentional.
That's right.
And when I found that was just as important to be intentional in my friendships, not only my marriage and as a mother, as a grandmother, but when I found out to be more intentional in my friendships, I feel like they became better quality
Yes.
because now you're surrounding with the people that want to be around you. Because if you schedule something out 2 months in advance and then next thing you know, the person called like, oh, I can't make it. We've had this on the calendar for how long? I can understand if it's an emergency or something comes up, but I want to be so intentional in my relationship with you. I want you to know that I value you as a person. I value your friendship. I value my family.
That's right.
That's how much I want you to know that when I say I'm going to show up and do something and I don't hit that mark, I feel bad
That's
to
right.
the point that now I want to overcompensate and say, hey, I'm so sorry I missed you. Like, apologize.
Mhm.
Don't blow it off like, oh, I know I was supposed to hang out with her today. She ain't going to be worried about it. How you know? How you know I'm not going to be worried about
Yeah.
it? So I think that's really good.
Mhm.
That's really good. Do you all, what do y'all think about, because here we're talking about intention. Do you think intentional can get get mixed up with being controlling because we want to be intentional in our lives. Do you feel like it now puts you in a box where you are controlling, trying to control every moment of your day?
It can.
You think so?
Absolutely. It can. I think we all like a sense of being in control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when things go left, um, you want to be able to bring that back in. You know, so it doesn't spin completely out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it can definitely.
Yeah.
There are extremes to it, to where now you are in that box. Now stuff got to be this,
Yeah.
and you're not flexible enough, or you're not able to pivot when you need to, or it can get bad, man.
Yeah.
It can really
Okay.
get bad.
So I think we got to make sure you're walking that line where your intentional self does not put yourself in a box where you're now controlling. I always like to say, please don't put me in a box.
Mhm.
Please, I don't fit in a box. I may show up one way like this. I may show up another way like this. So intention, making sure that that doesn't happen. I've made sure to stay intentional, to stay in an intentional place. I don't have a checklist, but I have the things of what feeds me to make sure I show up as my best self. And mentally, it's like, yep, I did that. Yep, I did that. But I don't. So there is a checkbox, but there's things that make me feel good.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not, oh, we got to live in tension, or we got to clean on Saturdays. We got to do this on Sundays. We got to do this on Fridays. Sometimes that type of schedule is
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
And now I'm like, dang, I don't even want to do it because it's not even fun to me anymore.
Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
got to ask yourself in real life, what do I need to do to live intentional for my life where I also don't lose my purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have structure,
Mhm.
and that's what moving intentionally does. It gives you that structure that you need.
Mhm.
But again, like I said, you got to remain flexible, agile, to be able to handle situations that are as they're coming to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can get out of hand. It can really stress people out.
Mhm.
It can really make you feel like you done missed the mark when you don't hit certain milestones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as long as you have those goals set,
Mhm.
you have what's non-negotiable, and you got what's negotiable, right?
Yes.
Non-negotiables, it has to go like this.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has to, and not saying it has to go exactly like I planned it out, but the end goal, I
Mhm.
need to reach this point to be
Yes.
able to get to this point.
Mhm.
Versus having those things that, okay, it'll be cool to have, but it ain't the end of the world.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also feel like when you box yourself into being so structured, trying to be intentional, or just trying to just be too structured, it doesn't leave as much room for you to grow. It can honestly like stunt your growth, especially when you're trying to stay on like, oh, I need to do this by this, this by this, this by this.
Oh
And
my
then when these other
gosh.
things like that come that try to push you to go farther, you don't have time for that. You can't fit it in
Yeah,
no
you
more.
done
And
close
so
them off.
it can
Yeah,
really
yeah,
stunt
close.
your growth as well.
I like that. I really do like that. So being intentional, um, you said something and it led me to say when we don't reach that goal that we needed to, I think sometimes we got to have grace
Yes.
in our
Definitely.
day of being
Yes.
intentional. Have grace to say, okay, I didn't meet that, or
Mhm.
but you got to give yourself grace. I think sometimes it's so easy to give grace to others. Do you give grace to yourself? Intentionally know that you're going to have to give grace to yourself. I messed that up. Okay. Don't stay and waddle in that mess up or that failure. Pick yourself up and say, okay, I'm being intentional and I'm giving myself grace. Yep, I own that. Now I'm going to regroup,
Mhm.
refocus. So give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Because we're going to mess up.
Yeah,
We're going to mess up.
Definitely.
because not doing that can make you discount the stuff that you actually did get accomplished that
Mhm.
could have been great.
That
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah. Instead of sitting there with that guilt and that shame, like, okay, I messed up. Let's do this intentionally.
Yeah.
Great. What's one small shift someone can make in their life to lead them toward being intentional? What's one small thing, you guys, that we can make sure our community understand? Like, if you're not seeing what you want to see right now, you can change that by deciding I'm going to be intentional in this season. I've set some goals.
I would say,
Mhm.
where you at?
You can go first.
All right. I
You
forget
can go
stuff. I
first.
forget stuff real
Yeah.
quick. So, I would say having somebody, a coach, having somebody that can hold you accountable to check in on you, making sure that
Accountability
you hit
partner.
these things, making a decision to have the right people around you, to put yourself in the right circles to where, okay, these people are moving in the direction that I would love to be in.
Mhm.
Let me see what they're doing. So,
Mhm.
Yes, I think definitely having people around you to hold you accountable and being in a circle you see yourself growing with.
Okay.
But also I was gonna say it could be as simple as going to bed an hour earlier, waking up 30
Yeah,
minutes
you ain't
earlier.
tired no
Simple
more.
as
You
that.
know?
Yes.
You ain't tired no
Having-
more.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
when we have a goal, we try to focus on it, try to get as much done as quick as possible, but sometimes our days don't allow for it. So even just
Yep.
setting one goal to accomplish every day, easy.
Yeah, move
like that.
forward.
Yes.
Set one goal, and it doesn't have to be something hard.
Yeah,
I love how
something
you
easy.
make that so simple. Go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
If you can, if you have children, put your children to sleep on a scheduled time, and instead of you doing one activity you really like for an hour longer, cut it off and then go ahead and
put the phones down tonight.
go ahead and
Get y'all some rest.
get in the bed to get some rest. I
Yes.
love that.
Period. Get some rest.
Oh my gosh,
So
he done
call
called
her
her
out
out. He done called her out. I think another thing that has been very, very key to me in walking intentional this year is setting boundaries.
Mm.
I had to learn that I can't say yes to everything. As much as I want to do, help. One of my lessons in life, I can't pour from an empty cup. So I had to set boundaries on what I put in my circle at that time, what I decide to put on that list, that to-do list at that time. So I had to set boundaries.
That's good.
I had to set boundaries. And I think sometimes we think setting boundaries is bad,
Mhm.
but it's not. I think setting positive boundaries and still saying, I'm showing up and I'm here. I just can't do this at this time. Or I was working with my team just like this week, and I said, hey, these things are happening. So let's open up our calendars and talk about what we're going to need to shift, because my boundaries is already saying a lot is happening. So how can you take responsibility of this? How can I take responsibility of this? And by the way, I'm blocking these days off because I'm taking off. And I think that's what we have to do. But don't try to set boundaries alone. Who can come around you to support you? Because when you set boundaries, you are taking things off your plate, which means it now has to move to someone else.
Mhm.
So set boundaries.
Yeah. I also think it's important to celebrate the small wins.
Oh, yes, it is.
Like,
Celebrate.
I just think it gives you something to keep working for, even if it's, you
Mhm.
know, you go buy yourself some flowers after you do something. Simple things, really.
I think she's been around her mom a
I
lot
have.
because those flowers, I always say weekly, I want flowers. I love them. I love them. My mom would say, give her flowers now while she's living. Don't even want no flowers when it's my time to go, because I want to be able to say I got them all when I was living. I know. Okay. Give yourself grace.
Yep.
Be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Set goals. Now, guess what? We got something for you, because if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this podcast, however you're getting this information, we want to make sure that you take steps in your life to find a way to be intentional. Okay? So we got some action items.
We do.
We got some action items.
Didn't know about these.
I mean,
oh, you didn't know?
You have to have action items. I listen to things. I listen to some podcasts for laughter. That's what I listen
What
to.
you like?
I listen to some podcasts for education.
Mhm.
I listen to some podcasts for mysteries. When you listen to this podcast, we want to make sure that you leave with some substance that's going to help you move throughout life. So if we're talking about the word intention, No, intentional. We're inviting you to live it. We're inviting you to be intentional. So this week, we would like for you to choose one area in your life that you want to focus on being intentional. One. Is it your energy? What needs to shift? Your mindset? What's one thing you're going to grab to be intentional on this week?
Yeah.
And whenever you're listening to this podcast, I don't care if you listen to it a week, 2, 3, 4 later, you check yourself. Am I being intentional? Am I offering myself grace? And am I keeping my boundaries? Am I celebrating the small wins? What you think?
Don't
Love
offer
it.
yourself too much grace.
Yes.
Yes, that's good.
Yes.
That
That's
that
good.
grace that's gonna keep you stuck where you are.
Mhm.
Definitely offer yourself some grace, but
Grace.
one foot in front of the other. Keep moving forward, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, make it yours. Intentional living isn't a one size fit all type of thing. It's really about choosing something that aligns with your heart.
She's
and
trying to show a little
your
charisma.
goals.
Align with your heart. Align with your heart. Align with your heart. I love it. No, seriously, be intentional. And you know what? We are doing great things as we're walking this journey called life already. You may just have to sit for a moment, take 10 minutes and say, hey, am I walking in my purpose? Am I being intentional about my day? What is one thing I can do different today that's going to push me even further tomorrow? That's what being intentional really means. This is the goal over here, and I'm trying to get there. But if I don't put my shoes on today, I'm not going to get there because I don't want to go outside barefoot. Or if I don't do this, I'm not going to get there. So I just want to make sure we know. Let's walk with intentional. Let's walk with intention. So this is the first episode of season 4, and thank you for kicking this series off with us, starting with being intentional. What does intentional mean to you? And guess what? You don't have to figure it all out overnight.
That's right.
You don't have to figure it out all overnight. So be intentional. Be intentional. And I promise you, you're going to want to stay in this season with us because we have a word that's going to make you think, going to stretch you, and going to help you grow every single week. Every single week.
Every single week.
Every week.
So, as we always like to say, as you're walking this journey called life, please remember you are a key piece to your story. And the key to this week is being intentional. Until next time, bye.